Your food is killing you, and I can prove it. So I did an unintentional experiment on myself. I'm actually glad now because I was able to prove what I already knew and test a theory. It wasn't planned, which I believe was even better because I wasn't expecting certain results. So basically, I fasted for about 6 or 7 days, only water. I didn't tell anyone. It's best not to tell anyone when you fast. However, people around me still noticed. They still knew that I was fasting. And one of them decided to offer me food. They were going to a gathering for Thanksgiving and said they would bring me back a plate. I declined. They insisted. Deep down, I knew that I shouldn't. Deep down, I knew that I would probably be sick if I ate that food. Deep down, I knew that it wasn't what I needed, it wasn't what I wanted. And I'm going to tell you something, I'm going to educate you on something if you don't know. If you are going to break your fast, it's best to break it with the healthiest thing possible because otherwise you're defeating the purpose of the fast. The fast is to purify, the fast is to cleanse. It makes no sense to go backwards. It makes no sense to break a fast with cooked food. It makes no sense to break a fast with fast food. It makes no sense to break a fast with junk food. Shout out to Yaki Awakened because he is actually a student of some of the best teachers, including Dr. Sabi, in the sense that he did the necessary research and study and application to prove that, in fact, the greatest and the best food to eat is fruit. Fruit is the true food of the human. And it has seed, which is proof of life and regeneration. And it is raw. We were never really intended to use microwaves or stovetops. We were always intended to eat the fruit of the tree, to eat the food of life. But our society that is big on the destruction of a vast majority of people and the capitalization have found ways to make sure that you eat your 3 square meals plus 4 snacks and dessert a day. They have found a way to convince you to be obese and gluttonous. But let me try to stay on topic. So, with this fast, which was greatly needed, and the results were amazing, which I expected. However, it was short lived because knowing what I know about myself, because I don't like to lie to myself, I knew the reason why I declined the food is because I knew that if it was in my perimeter, if it was in my vicinity, eventually I would give in. I fought. I tried. I put it in the freezer and I said, okay, one of two things is going to happen. Well, one of three things is going to happen. I'm either going to put it in the freezer and treat it like a frozen dinner and maybe eat it down the road after I'm done my fast, or I'm going to just throw it away and not eat it, or what I didn't want to happen, I'm going to give in and I'm going to microwave this at some point and eat it. So I microwaved it the next day. So I held out for a day, actually, or maybe about a day and a half, held out. And then I ate the food. And what the food consisted of, it was like one of those serving platters. So it had like the one big section and the two little sections. It was a big old section of green beans. It was a little bit of meat, a little bit of sweet potatoes, and a little bit of macaroni and cheese. And it was very disappointing because typically it proved two things. One, I have had experiences breaking a fast and eating an apple. And it's amazing because when you take that time to purge and to go without food, you bite into that apple, you can see the natural sugars on that apple. You can see it glistening. And you can taste it. It's like the best apple you've ever eaten in your life. When I ate this food, it was bland. It didn't have it. I felt disgusted with myself. I was like, oh my God, why did I do this? Like, I knew what the end result was going to be after I did it, but I did it anyway. And I threw up. I threw up not that long after I ate it. And when I threw up, it was the green beans. And I say this for so many reasons. One, because I truly agree with people like Yaki Awaken who advocate for the raw food, for the fruit. Green beans are a vegetable. You have to cook green beans. My body rejected it. When I vomited, all you could see were those green beans. It was green. It was like my body didn't even properly digest it. My body completely rejected it. And I'm not saying that to say that my body wanted those other things, because honestly, they were disgusting as well. But in this experiment, it proved two things. One, it proved that fruit is better. Two, it proved the importance of being mindful of how and when you break your fast. And also, there were other little nuggets. And what I want to get through to you, the message that I want you to know, what I want to deliver is, when you fast, do it in secret. Don't be broadcasting it. Don't be telling everyone your business. Unfortunately, if you live with people or if you have a lot of people around you, they may notice. They may notice because you will change, especially if you're in kind of a dilapidated state once you start. They will notice that you're losing weight. They will notice that your skin is starting to glow. They will notice that you have an abundance of energy and there's a brightness in your spirit. They will notice this. A lot was learned through this experience. A lot was conveyed directly and indirectly through this experience. And I want to emphasize the need to fast. I want to emphasize the need to keep gluttony at bay. These are the times to rid yourself of those things that lead to death. A lot of these so-called foods are death foods. Even now, which is, I don't know, almost 2-3 weeks after I broke my fast, I had a craving for non-foods. And even now, as I'm eating them, I'm just disgusted because my body is not being fulfilled. My brain is not being fulfilled. My DNA is not being fulfilled, because food of life gives your body fulfillment and true nourishment, and it provides information to your DNA. It regenerates your system. This stuff doesn't. This stuff causes dis-ease. This stuff causes a buildup of mucus. This stuff clogs your system. This stuff increases the fat in your body. This stuff makes you lazy and lethargic. This stuff is killing you. So, please keep these things in mind. Please always remember the importance of fasting. Please choose the food of life. And know that the reward is far greater than what you think you're giving up. And know that if you stay consistent, you'll get to the point where you no longer crave these things. Or if you do, it's just for a short time, and you constantly will remind yourself why it's better to eat the food of life.